custom make all of this stuff, or?
I think so. I think it's not that we custom made it; it's that we custom assembled it from existing parts.
So but the base maybe is custom, but then the other stuff is typical
like
film.
The poles are
typical
pieces
film industry
put together. Yeah, I mean.
And then the cages you guys had custom made.
This is new. We just added this. John made
blood
from a bunch
pudding
of parts.
and tears of a clown.
None of this was custom made, but it was put together custom.
Mo, Larry, and Curly. X-Lax, Prune, and even building so many TV shows.
You're recording now?
Oh yeah.
Well, hi.
Used to not having a tally light.
I'm John Slanina. I'm the studio manager here at TWiT. I kind of help build all this stuff. And this is our control desk. The cool thing about our control desk is it spins. It points at all the sets we have here at the Brickhouse.
The Rainbow Room for the restaurant, the Rainbow Room.
It doesn't go 360
the Rainbow Room
because there's a whole bunch of wires that go into the basement, and that would be quite a challenge if we kept spinning it around. It only goes about 270. The next show we're doing is tomorrow afternoon.
Where 2425 says, I was at
that's
the
why I had it
DMV
pointing
LA.
this way towards the round table. We're just finishing up a show. This isn't really even a show. Dick DiBartolo, Mad's maddest writer. He's been writing in Mad Magazine since the 60s, and every episode. He does a show on Tuesdays called The Giz Wiz. It used to be on Fridays, and when we moved it from it used to be on Saturdays. When we moved it from Saturday to Tuesday, he still wanted something to do on Saturdays. So he just talks to the chat room for an hour every Saturday afternoon.
So is this recorded or is this live right now?
It's live, but I am recording it. We will put it into reruns. Saturday our programming is pretty sparse when we have the 3 hours of the tech guy. So if we reran that over and over again, so this just gives us another hour of programming to put into reruns. Plus, it's very nice of him to entertain our fans with his little show, the Giz Fizz we call it. There's a chat room celebrity of the week. He does match game questions. He used to write for the match game. He's going to be ending it pretty soon, and I'll have to start playing the reruns. So what we do here is what in a traditional TV studio would take, Leo has said, 20 people. You have a person doing the graphics, typing in the lower thirds. You have a person mixing the audio. You have a person matching color and white balance, all that stuff. You have the video switcher. You have the guy directing it. You have the guy doing the lights. And we do that all here. Here's our audio board. This is a digital audio board from Axia. It's the Element. It's quite versatile. We use it extensively, and it's really fun to have a digital board. I mean, if you're familiar with audio boards, you're used to the back of them having just rows and rows and rows of jacks and plugs and stuff. But if you look at the back of this board, you will see that there are no wires at all. It has one Ethernet connection down to its brain in the basement. And we use IP audio. Digital audio lets us do that. So this is the monitor for the audio system. This monitor is hooked up to a KVM, and there's actually 8 computers in the basement hooked up to this. This is how we control our 4 Skype machines. He's on Skype right now. This is also how we record, how we control the recording we're making. We record to a SAN, so that as soon as we're done recording, the editors can start working on the file without having to move the file around. So there's a Mac Pro in the basement that's actually recording this on Final Cut. I also have access to the software doing the streaming, our Elemental box, which does the streaming. That's this software here. And the computer running chat and our backup streams, all of that is accessible on this one monitor, this one keyboard, this one mouse, to this KVM.
So the KVM switches not just the monitor output, but also the computer actual system that you're operating.
For this one monitor, for this keyboard and mouse, the Axia has no keyboard. So all of the buttons here are how we control the Axia. So this keyboard and mouse is hooked up to this KVM and that monitor, and it controls the 4 Skype machines, our streaming machines, our Mac Pro that we're recording, the Mac Mini that has the chat running on it, a lot of machines we get to over here. Then in the center, we have the TriCaster, and this is our video switcher. These 2 screens are part of the TriCaster. Keyboard and mouse control it, but the thing that makes it really fun is having this fancy control surface for the TriCaster. It lets us do a lot of things. There's nothing going on in this show. Dick's just talking. I don't have the opportunity to do much of anything, but some of our shows we get to play around with this stuff quite a bit.
You can actually operate a camera with a joystick.
Well, we can't operate a camera. I mean, what we can do is I can. Let's say,
right behind.
let's put me on 5. Where am I? I'm on 6. So I can do things like I can zoom in, but it's digital. You know, it's not actually moving the camera. You know, and we can do all sorts of crazy stuff, but it's not really. We do have one PTZ camera. That camera up there is the one camera we have that moves around. Plus, we have the one camera on a jib, so we can move that camera around. But one of the goals is doing stuff on the cheap here. That's why you have one person doing the job of 20, and we have no cameramen. We just have a lot of cameras. So having I think we're up to like 45 cameras. We have a video hub in the basement, Blackmagic Video Hub, which is controlled by this iPad, and it allows us to put any video source into any video destination. For example,
So is that from Blackmagic?
Yeah.
iPad app?
This is a Blackmagic iPad. This app that controls the hardware in the basement is from Blackmagic. And say in this monitor 16, let me find 16. I want to put, say, my picture. So there's that board op.
And the other thing that you might have seen.
PD cam. Oh, so there. I just put my picture down there. But I can put anything I want. Normally we have Skype 2 in that
First of
monitor.
all,
So I'll put Skype 2.
Orbis.
Oops.
And it is.
Where did I put Skype 2? I don't want to put.
Skype
Skype 2 into 16.
Oh, someone. Weird Amy.
Skype 2.
I
Okay.
think
So the first eight inputs on here are the TriCaster. The TriCaster's got 8 inputs. So we can assign 8 cameras, but there's more inputs than just cameras. The hosts of the shows have their laptops, and they may want to show the laptop on the screen. So all the sets have inputs into Blackmagic mini converters that convert it to SDI that go down to the video hub. So in addition to the cameras, we have computers all around doing screens. Plus, of course, the Skype machines are computers. So we have many possible inputs, and then 120 outputs. We have cameras in the windows outside. You can't see it. If you went outside, there's not cameras, but monitors. Those two great big monitors up there are for our audience when we have a big crowd here. We have the pair of monitors that roll around between the sets. We call that the stack. So we can route any input into any output using the video hub in the basement. It's very cool. We like it. It also passes, there's embedded audio. Our audio system, our audio chain is totally separate from the video chain, but we can do things like using the HDMI output from a laptop, capture the audio from that, and then that would go into the TriCaster, then we would pop the TriCaster up on the audio board. But generally our audio is totally separate from our video. They get mixed down at the stream machine and at the recording machines.
So you design it on their website.
Then over on this side, we have, we call this the Vid Blaster machine simply because it has Vid Blaster on it, and we use Vid Blaster occasionally. But this is the machine we use to play back reruns. You know, we pull up screens during shows. This is just a versatile machine that's got a lot of power that we can do, you know, a lot of things without them taking a lot of time. And as soon as Dick decides he's done with the show, I'll start playing today's reruns, and then it'll be time to go home. And this is our lighting board. I got a button here, I can turn out all the lights. And then I can turn everything down. And then, for example, here at the control desk, we have our lights here for the control desk. We have the lights for the different set. Here's the lights for the round table set. And then I can make the background any color I want.
And I think it's time.
Got a purple.
Oh no, somebody just.
So here's our lighting board. So we got the lighting board, we got the video switcher, we got the audio switcher. Uh-oh, it sounds like this show's about to end. Myra's very upset about the show ending. So when the show ends, I'll say goodbye, and I'll start playing the rerun. But the rerun, I've got the rerun set up to play on this input 7 of the TriCaster. So I'm just going to switch to input 7 and play the rerun. But I don't want the TriCaster to run all night. So after a minute or two, I'm going to switch right now the TriCaster is feeding the stream. And I'm going to switch it to the TriCaster, or the Vid Blaster machine playing to the stream. But nobody will notice because I will already have switched in the TriCaster to having the Vid Blaster playing. Watch how smooth I do this.
Somebody you might know, even your next door neighbor. Dickie Bartola saying, bye, chat room.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, JammerB. Bye.
See you.
Dick's Wardrobe by Giorgio's of Hollywood. Okay, bye.
And now we return to the Tech Guy, already in progress.
Support the Tech Guy will begin education required from Premier Radio Network.
So right now, I've effectively gone into reruns. I'll turn that down. But I'm playing the reruns to the TriCaster, and I really want to shut the TriCaster down. It doesn't need to be on all night. So I'm going to, using the video hub in the basement, I'm going to say to the stream, which is the destination I want, send the Vid Blaster desktop. Send that to the stream. So now, this, which shows me the stream, we have the stream going out on this monitor, shows me that. I know that it's not the TriCaster, and I can effectively shut the TriCaster down, and the stream doesn't stop. Now, we only do 2 shows on Saturdays, the Tech Guy, which is a nice 3-hour show, but we rerun our shows that we do during the day all night. So now I will copy over let me get the chat. People are trying to talk to me in chat, and I'll say goodbye to them. So now here's the GizWiz that I just recorded, and I'm copying it over. I'm copying it from the TriCaster to this machine, and as soon as it's done copying, I'll put it in the playlist and go home. But now I have to wait 3 minutes while the file copies. So,
How much storage space do you guys have?
where?
Well, in the basement, or where do you guys?
Okay, well
you guys have,
the SAN it's got like 16 2-terabyte hard drives in it, but I don't think you get 32 terabytes out of it. So I think it's only got like 20 terabytes or 25 terabytes. We have installed now. What we've always done. So the TriCasters are making 2 recordings. This is the one we use. The production recording is the one. Oh, did I stop that? Let me get that stopped so I don't crash the Final Cut by leaving it running. That would be bad. I've done that, and then I have to run. So if the Final Cut machine crashes, the KVM crashes. So I have to go restart the Final Cut machine. Then I got to restart the KVM. So we don't want the Final Cut machine to crash.
What is Final Cut doing?
Well, it was recording the GizFizz, and
Okay,
if I don't stop,
Final Cut,
if I don't stop it, which sometimes it's not really a real show, so there's no editor hanging on me. Say, stop that! I got to start editing it. We're not going to put it out. It's a backup recording kind of thing. And if I don't stop it, I come in tomorrow. Oh, why is that machine hung up? Oh, great! I got to restart that machine, which means I'm going to have to restart the KVM. That's why we get here early. So,
So I assume the archives are all actually someplace else, right?
Well, so the TriCaster is making 2 recordings on 2 separate hard drives. It's making the rerun recording, which is a smaller size recording because we're just playing it on the stream. We're not using it. Oh, I need to make this full screen. Go full screen. There it is. So it doesn't need to be as high a resolution as our production recording. So we're making 2 recordings here. One is equivalent to in resolution to the one we're recording in Final Cut. So if we do have a problem with that recording, we do have a high resolution backup that we can still edit and publish. But what we sit in on separate hard drives. So that backup recording, the higher resolution recording on the TriCaster, we just erase that after a month and just keep using it. The backup recording that has the smaller resolution versions that has the reruns, the other thing we do with the reruns is as soon as we got the profile loaded in the TriCaster, we start recording. And then we wait until we're ready to change profiles on the TriCaster to stop recording. Leo has wanted an all-day rerun. And that is kind of a hassle, and I don't want to deal with all the problems that would give us. So what we do is we only have like 2 or 3 minutes between the shows when we're not recording. for the reruns. As soon as we load a profile, we start recording, and it's only that 2 or 3 minutes when we're changing profiles to go between sets and shows that we aren't recording. So essentially we are getting that all-day recording. The problem on Saturdays is we only have like 4 hours of programming. The 3 hours of the tech guy, and now this hour of the Giz Fizz that just finished. So it's almost done copying over to this machine, and then I will throw it into
I've
that
always been
rerun.
surprised about that you folks have been able to turn it around so fast. After something's played live, then it's ready in queue. I mean, if you missed it, then you can actually, you know.
Well,
Watching
and if we weren't using the SAN, if we were, we have at times not used the SAN. We have different things we can record to, little removable hard drives. You know, a thing called Key Pro from AJA that we use quite a bit, and it records to a hard drive in ProRes. So then we take that hard drive out and give it to an editor, and he has to wait a half an hour to copy that file. You know, so. But the question I'm answering is capacity. And I wanted to get to that second hard drive that we record all the reruns on, and essentially everything that goes on here, because it's almost an all-day recording. All of those hard drives we save. We have about 50, and this has been going on since the cottage. We have about 50. They were originally like 1 terabyte hard drives. Now I think we're doing 3 terabyte hard drives, but we have about 50 of them just saved. And the problem is they're okay. This is from March 2nd, 2009 to April 15th, 2009. And that's as much as they're indexed, right? They've got the dates written on them. I mean,
Sounds like a job for an intern.
at some point, but you know, we're just creating all of this stuff, and we have it. Now the real backup, but that's just the raw stuff. You know, that's not what we've actually published, which is, you know, edited and the stuff. Now, everything we publish lives on CacheFly. They're our content distribution network. Every show we've ever done, every video, and now it's 3 versions of video and 1 audio for every show. All of that for every episode of every show lives on CacheFly. And I could really easily, because I know the naming, the way they're all named, I could really easily pull up any file from any show.
Can the public get to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think my friend, he came on the set. He visited the brick house, and he said, yeah, he didn't think, it said his DVR or something, so you could see himself. And somebody told him, no, you can see yourself. There's this place you go to online, and
okay.
You
so one of our streaming providers, Justin TV, BitGravity also does this, but it's not public. Justin TV archives everything that they publish and is available to the public. So you can, but again, it's not indexed.
So
it's
if I was on camera, I could see myself.
Sure, and if you know the time, it's a lot easier to find. So in terms of storage, we're keeping all those hard drives that have all of our programming, and of course,
just your masters.
There are the work products, the little bumpers and things that go into every video. Those are securely backed up. But the thing that we only have the 1 copy of is what we actually publish. The stuff that you download from iTunes, the stuff that we actually publish, we don't keep that. That lives on it's all on CacheFly, and I can get to it.
But if
CacheFly has been a partner, and they've been providing us with thousands and thousands of dollars of bandwidth every month, if that were all to go away,
where if they decide to start partnering with Kim.com and
or they
start
to charge us, you say, oh, you know, okay. One of the reasons that we're able to do what we do is because of free bandwidth. We're able to promote, because at the beginning of every show you'll hear bandwidth provided by CacheFly, CacheFly. So that little promotion we give them has given us thousands and thousands of dollars of free bandwidth. That has made this network possible. Without the free bandwidth, you know, we would not be able to do what we do. So thank you, CacheFly.
You heard it here.
And of course, we also thank Ustream and BitGravity and Justin TV for providing the live streams. Again, I think we pay a little for the BitGravity. The other thing we're paying for, which has just started, is FlowSoft. FlowSoft is another provider, and they provide the HTML5 stream, the non-flash stream that you see on your iOS devices, and they're streaming the HD, the 720p stuff that we put out. They're streaming that so you can watch it on your applications on your TV, like a Roku box, or there's a Samsung app. So when you watch us on your smart TV, you get that FlowSoft stream, and we actually do pay for that. That is not free bandwidth. And so far it's not as big an expense as we imagined it might grow to be at some point, but boy, that sure looks good. If you watch our programming live on the Roku box, there's a Samsung TV app, there's a TiVo app, there's a bunch of smart boxes where we have applications on them that'll connect directly to our streams, and they connect to the HD one that comes from a company called FlowSoft.
Is there any place else that we're going to see content in the future, like maybe on airlines or?
Yeah, airlines. I have heard that
I thought I heard something about
that. Yeah. And I mean, I've just heard about it too. But i5 Today, Sarah's i5 show, i5 for the iPhone, i5 Today. iPad Today is a show. Also, we have an iPhone show. It's called i5 for the iPhone. It's like a 10-minute show. Now, there's another weird thing. We talked about the all-day reruns. That's the one show that isn't live to tape. Everything we do is live to tape. You know, we put a beginning on it, we put an ending on it. If somebody cuts in the middle, we bleep it out.
I've watched it live.
It takes us an hour to put out. It takes us an hour to make, and then it's a 10-minute show in the end, and it takes all afternoon for them to put it together. So instead of turning...
That's an intensive show to edit together.
It's also because it's full of content and it's only 10 minutes long, it's a totally different kind of audience for us. Because most of our stuff is very long form. Tech News Today is 45 minutes, and that's the shortest show we have. Everything else is an hour and a half or 2 hours. So this is very different from us, i5 for the iPhone, and it's
so that might make it a little more appealing to sell if you're hitting a specific.
And if you're an iPhone fan, and there's plenty of them.
Dropped on an airplane, we can
and I think that's why it fits on the airlines, because it's not so long. They can use it between because they use they've sitcoms and stuff, half-hour television shows.
They got to get that what's that Wi-Fi provider on the airlines? Get them to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
Because I flew on I think it was Virgin, and they said, oh yeah, there's Wi-Fi in the plane, but of course it's what is that?
Yeah,
GoGo or something like that. There's some kind of company that has pay for Wi-Fi.
Well, let's see. My file is copied over here. So the last thing I have to do is take this GizWiz and put it in the reruns there, and now I am done for the day. We got about 4 hours worth of programming that's just going to run over and over again.
So has there ever been a time where you guys had to rush down here for whatever reason?
I did it this morning. I got up this morning and I saw, I follow tweets to Leo. You know, I've got in my TWiT bot, I've got Leo Laporte as a search field. And you know, I got out of the shower around 9 o'clock and 2 hours ago, dead air, Leo, bad forms. So I pull up the stream, and in fact, it had frozen. I don't know why, it was just stopped. It wasn't like something broke. It was like somebody had just paused it. No, it wasn't that, because VLC had actually hung. Because I had to quit VLC. I couldn't just start it. I had to quit it to get to work. So yeah, at 9 o'clock this morning,
I normally wouldn't be by remote. You had to physically come in.
You know, I can go. We have go to assist on this. I can get in here and go to manage. But VLC won't go back into. I can't get VLC back into full screen. You know, if I do that, it comes out of full screen, and I get my little interface, and it won't go back into full screen over the go to manage interface. So we said, ideally, we hoped. I only live a block and a half away, so it's not that big a deal.
You need like a robot hand that you can actually push.
No, buttons. we need to not be using VLC. You know, we need to have a better play. There are a lot of better solutions. Maybe even a dedicated piece of hardware for playing back the video files, or we use VLC in a different way. Like, I don't know much about this stuff, but my IT guy tells me that you can get an RTMP stream out of VLC, which is a lot. What we're doing is we're playing it to desktop, and we're mirroring the desktop, and then we're capturing that using a Blackmagic Mini converter to capture that desktop. Whereas if we did the RTMP stream straight to wherever it was going, it would be a much cleaner thing, much more reliable, and I wouldn't have to worry about not coming back into full screen when I access it from Go to Manage.
So what kind of remote solutions do you use? You said you folks use some kind of
Go to manage. I can get into the TriCaster. I can get into all the machines. I can pretty much get into stuff and do stuff, and all the editors can get into there. See, a lot of what the editors do is waiting for the encoding, and then they have to do stuff after the encoding. So Brian, who's done the tech guide today, he's going to get all his editing done, and he'll go home, and then when he sees the encoding is done, he'll go to manager, however we have them set up to get into their machines, and he'll push the final buttons from home. to actually get the publishing done. So we do a lot of remote access. It's just that one VLC full screen playback on the desktop that makes me come in. But again, I'm only a block and a half away. All right, I'm going to turn off those lights.
Okay. Well, thanks for the tour.
You're very welcome.